This is the picture of the 1927 Solvay Conference, a gathering of the greatest scientific minds of the time. Among them, there was only one woman, Marie Curie. She was not just a brilliant scientist, she was also a trailblazer in a world dominated by men. Imagine dedicating your entire life to science, making discoveries that change the world, only to have that very work slowly poison you. Marie Curie, the first person to win 2 Nobel Prizes, revolutionized science with her work on radioactivity, unaware that her brilliance was also sealing her fate. Stay with us as we unravel her incredible journey, and don't forget, after the video, you'll find follow-up questions to test how closely you paid attention. Marie Curie was born Maria Salomea Skłodowska in Warsaw, Poland, on November 7, 1867. She was the youngest of 5 children in a family of educators. Her father, Władysław Skłodowska, a physics and math teacher, took immense pride in his Polish heritage. However, his patriotism had consequences. His Russian superiors demoted him to lower-paying positions. To make ends meet, the family had no choice but to take in student lodgers. This financial desperation would prove tragic. One lodger brought typhus into their home, leading to the death of Marie's eldest sister, Zofia. Just a few years later, when Marie was only 10 years old, her mother succumbed to tuberculosis. These heart-wrenching losses shaped Marie's worldview. She abandoned her Catholic faith, turning agnostic, while her father carried deep regret over their financial struggles. Yet, despite these hardships, he remained a steadfast source of intellectual encouragement for his children, especially Marie. Determined to learn, Marie graduated at the top of her class but was barred from university simply because she was a woman. Defying the oppressive Russian regime, she attended the underground Flying University, where Polish women secretly pursued higher education. Marie and her sister Bronia made a pact. Marie would work as a governess to fund Bronia's medical studies in Paris, and in return, Bronia would later help her. During her time as a governess, she even fell in love with Kazimierz Zorowski, a relationship thwarted by his wealthy family, who refused to accept a penniless girl. Heartbroken but undeterred, Marie finally saved enough to join Bronia in Paris in 1891, adopting the French version of her name, Marie. In Paris, Marie faced an uphill battle. Academically behind and living in near poverty, she often sought refuge in the heated library rather than her cold attic room, sometimes to the point of fainting from hunger. Still, she excelled, eventually earning degrees in physics and mathematics. Her dream of returning to Poland was dashed when the university system refused to hire a woman. Just as she was reconsidering her future, fate intervened. She met Pierre Curie, a dedicated physicist. Pierre saw in Marie a kindred spirit, a partner in both intellect and ambition. Though Marie initially rejected his marriage proposal, believing her future lay in Poland, Pierre's unwavering support eventually convinced her. They married in 1895 in a simple ceremony, no extravagant parties, just a quiet commitment. Marie wore a dark blue dress that would come to define her lab attire. Marie began researching radioactivity, a term she herself coined. She discovered that certain materials emitted energy without any external trigger. Using an electrometer built by Pierre and his brother, she studied uranium and made a startling discovery. A mineral called pitchblende was far more radioactive than uranium itself, indicating the presence of unknown elements. Marie and Pierre toiled in a leaky, makeshift laboratory, processing tons of pitchblende. Their relentless work eventually led to the identification of 2 new elements, polonium, named after her homeland, and radium, which emitted 900 times more radiation than polonium. The public became utterly fascinated by radium. Its eerie green glow captured imaginations and led to its use in everyday products such as toothpaste and facial creams, all touted for their supposed health benefits. Their groundbreaking work earned them the 1903 Nobel Prize in Physics, shared with Henri Becquerel. Marie became the first woman to win a Nobel Prize. Initially, the prize committee had planned to exclude her simply because she was a woman. However, a sympathetic member of the nominating committee, Swedish mathematician Gösta Mittag Effler, alerted Pierre to the injustice, ensuring that Marie shared in the honor. But there was something they didn't yet understand: radiation was deadly. Marie's fascination with radium was profound. She even carried vials of the glowing substance in her pockets. That eerie green light, so mesmerizing, came at a terrible cost. While Pierre's ongoing health issues and fatigue, likely exacerbated by their early, unprotected exposure to radiation, were a growing concern, no one fully grasped the long-term dangers. Then, in 1906, tragedy struck. While crossing the street on a rainy day, Pierre was killed instantly by a horse-drawn carriage. His premature death not only left Marie heartbroken but also underscored the silent, creeping toll that radiation was beginning to take. Devastated yet resolute, Marie buried herself in work. She took over Pierre's academic post, becoming the first female professor in France. However, the world was unkind. The French Academy of Sciences rejected her membership, partly because she was a woman and an immigrant. A scandal erupted over her affair with Pierre's former student, Paul Langevin, who was estranged from his wife. The press viciously labeled her a homewrecker. Amidst the turmoil, Albert Einstein sent her a heartfelt letter, urging her to ignore the gossip and focus on her science. He admired her intellect, drive, and honesty. Then, in 1911, she did the unthinkable. She won her second Nobel Prize, this time in chemistry, for isolating radium. This made her the first person, man or woman, to win 2 Nobel Prizes in 2 different fields. Marie was also the only woman to attend the prestigious Solvay Conference, where some of the greatest minds in physics gathered to discuss the biggest scientific questions of their time. Marie spent her later years running research institutes in Paris and Warsaw, mentoring the next generation of scientists. However, her body was paying the ultimate price. Years of unprotected exposure to radioactive materials led to plastic anemia, a fatal blood disease. On July 4, 1934, she passed away at the age of 66. Even in death, the hazards of her work persisted. Her body was interred in a lead-lined coffin to contain the lingering radioactivity. Her scientific notes remain so radioactive that anyone wishing to examine them today must wear protective gear and sign a waiver. Decades later, Marie Curie's legacy endures. In 1995, she became the first woman laid to rest in the Panthéon in Paris on her own merits. Her daughter, Curie, continued her legacy by winning a Nobel Prize in Chemistry in 1935. Marie Curie broke barriers, changed the course of science, and sacrificed herself for the pursuit of knowledge. The price she paid was her life, but her discoveries continue to save millions every day. Her story is one of brilliance, resilience, and ultimate sacrifice. If you found Marie Curie's journey as inspiring as it is tragic, share your thoughts in the comments. Before you go, remember to check the post sections for follow-up questions designed to test how well you absorb the details of her incredible journey. Thanks for watching.